Judy Haddad, founder of and executive director of 5 Purple Oranges and owner and operator of Orange Purple Passions. And this is a continuation of my Hit by a Truck series. This is all about passing through trauma, finding my faith again, and finding my purpose. I'm going to continue stuff about my ex-husband, Marco. So when we left off, I was still in the hospital. I returned home after my son and I were hit by a semi-truck in Dodge County, Wisconsin, killing him and severely injuring me. And apparently the cat wants to be involved in this video. And I was operated on the 20th of August in 2014, and I believe I was home on the 28th. The original plan was to send me to outpatient therapy or inpatient therapy somewhere in Illinois, and turned out that I healed faster than they thought. I had a drive to get home and quite frankly not let my son's killer take anything else from me. So I learned to walk, I learned to climb stairs. I was brought home. I'm gonna save that story for another day and get rid of the cat because he's biting me, and talk a little bit about my ex-husband. So when I was home, there wasn't much I could do. I couldn't walk still. I could sort of take care of myself, but it wasn't so easy. So I stayed in bed a lot, and I couldn't lie down. He thinks it's playtime. I couldn't lie flat, so I had to have like these inclined pillows and lie up in bed. I couldn't sleep on my sides. I just had to sit there. And I would find, you know what, this is gonna drive me crazy. It would give me a lot of time to think. And for a first, I wanna say week, my ex was trying to check in and call. And one day I was just really angry. And I was so irritated that he thought that we were even in the same vicinity of like the pain that we felt. I was so angry because he had never showed any affection towards Elan. He had never shown that he understood who Elan was as a human being. And he just acted like he had lost as much as I lost. Now I know you don't want to compare losses, but I was with Elan every day. We were very rarely separated. We did everything together. We spent countless hours together. We enjoyed each other's company. And the fact is that Marco didn't like seeing his son. I think he acknowledged that this was his flesh and blood, but he didn't really understand who this kid was. And I know he didn't hurt the way I hurt, because the entire time I was in the hospital trying to heal, I cannot believe this cat is still here. The entire time I was in the hospital trying to heal, he was trying to sue me. So I didn't find this out until, I think it was a week after I got back. I should really double check the dates there. No. So at some point I had said to him, just don't call me. I don't want to talk to you. Don't call me again. I'm sorry. See, I should check my brain is a little gone. That actually happened later. What happened first is in September, right before Elan's memorial, one of the crash investigators was managed to get that stuff for me from my car, some of Elan's things. And my lawyer went to pick it up and he came down to my house to deliver it to me. My mom was here. At that time, he said, we were discussing whether or not to invite Marco to the memorial service, which was on Alon's birthday, September 21st, 2014. He would have been 10. So we were discussing whether or not to invite his father to the memorial. I felt that there was no need because it was public. I made it public everywhere. It was posted everywhere. He could find out if he wanted to, and he could show up if he wanted to. Then my lawyer just tells me, well, maybe you won't want to do that. He filed a suit against me. So Marco filed a suit against me, and I guess the way he did it, because he hired attorneys in Chicago, somehow it became it had to be heard in a federal court in Milwaukee. And it made no sense. It was basically taking me to court for money I didn't have and suing, I believe, the trucking company as well. And it just absolutely made no sense. And I was beyond livid. I was like, I was sitting there, you know what? Sorry to abuse my cat, but I can't take it anymore. I couldn't understand, I couldn't comprehend how he felt he was owed anything. I had to sit there in a crumpled car for God knows how long after being crushed by a semi going 71 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. My child was in the back seat, crushed all the way into the front seat, and this freaking man felt that he deserved some money for his pain and suffering. So my lawyer tells me this. I'm like, well, we're not inviting him. And he called me, Marco called me soon after and said, tried to talk to me. And I said, you may not ever speak to me again. If you have something you need to say to me, have your lawyer contact my lawyer. I think he thought I was too stupid to even realize that he filed suit, and he might have been too stupid to even understand what was going on. So the background on it is that he had, the year prior, a DUI for which he was jailed and called me in the middle of the night several times until finally in the morning, I looked at the phone, saw that he was in jail, he was asking for help, and like a complete idiot, even though he was my ex-husband, not my current husband, we didn't get along, I didn't have any money, I was not planning on bailing him out, but I found out where he was going to be arraigned. I called his boss, she showed up, I left, never saw him again. From what I understand about that court case, they managed to just drag it out. So somehow, I believe his boss, who had a ton of money, hired him a lawyer for the DUI case. And I think so they would get paid to cover that. They're the ones that filed suit for this civil case against me in Wisconsin. So what that did, I got attacked recently in the press up there because I filed suit right away. I had no choice because Marco filed a civil case against me for the death of Alon. My lawyer then had to not only take on the client that he was gonna give to another firm, the other lady who hit us, again, it wasn't her fault, but the other lady who hit us after we were hit by the truck, she was pulled into our suit. We were now on the same side with the same law firm, along with my car insurance company, my health insurance company. So that's 4 people now filing suit against the trucking company and the trucking company's insurance agency. and then Marco was fifth. So that's 5 groups of people, along with the lawyers who get their cut, going after $1 million. So I want to make it known there was a $1 million insurance policy on that truck. That was it. That was all we were entitled to. What that did, though, bringing in the other driver, is that put the case firmly in Dodge County, Wisconsin. We knew that was where we needed to be because that's where the freaking crash happened, not in a federal court in Milwaukee. Turns out Marco ended up getting a local attorney there, which I will get into another day. So this is going to be a quick one because I'm going back up to Wisconsin on Sunday. But by the time you see this, I'll already be up there. So, when I was up in, I guess, walking again, it actually helped me that Marco was such a creep, because I ended up sort of being able to use his DUI case sort of against him. In my mind, if I hadn't gone to help him, his boss didn't know where he was arraigned. I was the one who called her and told her where he was being arraigned, and if I hadn't done that, he would have been remanded immediately. She wouldn't have been able to bail him out. And sometimes I really regret that move. Anyway, months later, I went to visit the cello shop, and at Alon's memorial on his birthday in 2014, we had all the cellists from the Music Institute of Chicago played several pieces in his memory. Well, I found out from the place where Alon's cello was being repaired that he had seen that not only was Marco in the paper because he had been arrested, he also said that at the time, and he didn't think to mention it to me, but at the time, during the time surrounding, after Alon was killed, that he was asked to play a service, but he didn't think it was for the same kid, because he was like, well, it's a Catholic mass, and I know you're Jewish, so I didn't think it could actually be the same people. No, my ex-husband, who never went to church and didn't believe in God and didn't believe in a religion, somehow decided to have a Catholic funeral service for my child, who was born and raised Jewish and was going to be bar mitzvah in Israel last year had he lived. He had a Catholic service for my child. Not only that, they asked for money to cover expenses. Now, here's where I get really angry. My lawyer felt that was fair because, but Marco did pay a little bit of one of the hospital bills because we demanded that through his attorneys. He never paid child support, ever. So he's gonna, so the $250 or whatever he paid for one small hospital bill, at the end of the whole freaking thing, I ended up having to pay the freaking insurance company well over $200,000. So his little $250 for one small bill, he should get reimbursed for that. I'm holding a lot of anger. I'm letting you guys have it all, sorry. But no, so the whole thing, the greed, the insanity of it all made me so sick to my stomach. I was living with it for a long time. I'm gonna finish this on some other videos because it's really too much for me to deal with at once, but I think he filed a case against me while I was still in the hospital. Nice, right? Shows you what a stand-up human being he is. And we didn't finish adjudicating that case until April of 2016. So for almost 2 years, I had that dealing with him hanging over my head. I will say the criminal case took longer, but we knew the criminal case was going to take longer. We didn't want to file a civil case. We wanted to see what we could use from the criminal case to make our civil case stronger, to hopefully be able to have the company cough up more money than the $1 million. Again, 5 people, and then 6 if you count the lawyer's cut, 7 if you count both sides, going after $1 million. Like, I'm sorry, my life was shattered. I had no job, I had no child, and no way to take care of myself. And I knew at most I was gonna get a couple, maybe $200,000, $300,000. That was another kick in the balls, pardon the expression. Like, it was just, it just wasn't how it was supposed to happen. And Marco never, once again in his life, took any responsibility for it. Sorry, I can tell I'm hunching. Thanks for watching. When I get back, I'll make the next episode a little bit longer and get into way more of those details. Thanks for joining me. Bye.